Welcome to Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves. Lana has been a practicing psychic for over 25 years and has the gifts of clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. She is an empath, a medium, as well as a pet communicator and health advisor. If you want to know more about what she does, check her out at www.enchantedskye.com. There we go. Welcome in to Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when we die. Of course, though, while you're alive, we want you to give a shout out to our friends over at diamondsnaturalstore.com for all of your fur baby's healthy diet needs. Sue does a great job over there and just making sure that if it's good for you, it should be good for your fur babies. Yvonne, hello. Tina, thank you. Says hello, everyone. Hope you are all having a great morning. On today's podcast, it's all about what happens when we die.
That's right. Okay. So, I always take something, you guys. And by the way, TikTokers, if you want to see me on Instagram didn't have to be on Instagram. What I'm doing now will be posted to Instagram. Anyway, if you want to see the actual podcast, who I'm talking to and everything, go to 216 the net. I cannot get you through TikTok connected. I'm connected to all the other social medias, like 7 of them, but not TikTok. So if you want to see my actual podcast and be a part of that, 216 the net, or my YouTube, lanasenchantedskye. Okay. All right. So, I always go with what happens throughout my life, yes. Something inspires me to talk about what I'm going to talk about. And by the way, and I keep saying I do have my astrologer friend coming here. She can't come this week. She'll be coming back. She's going to be talking about some of the major transits coming up astrologically. But and all I know is that I don't know if I believe I've shared this with her on my lives. You have to join my lives, Kent. We're playing games now. We're literally playing like Jeopardy and different things.
Awesome.
We're playing games. Yep, we're playing games. So join me on Sunday night and Tuesday night. One's at 7:30, one's at 7, one's at 8, because that way the California people can still catch me.
Yeah, nice.
I'm pretty much in the United States, but I have quite a few people in
You're worldwide. Yeah.
Yeah, I have quite a few people like over there. Anyway, and I had a couple of things happen recently that kind of made me go, oh, okay. Because okay, so I think I've shared this a little bit, and I know it's been political. I'm going to share it again because I told you guys that Trump would be indicted, being found guilty, but would never serve a day. What just happened? I told you. Remember back in 2020, and I think people thought I was crazy. Think about it. Way back about 3 years ago. People said, Trump, he's going to be indicted. Yeah, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, he would be found guilty. Now he's not going to serve any time. I don't know why. I have my suspicions why. But that's a whole nother podcast. So anyway, the reason I brought it up was about a week ago. I do a lot of readings all around the world, and a lot of these people become friends, or they become part of my chart because I know them well. And it was a woman that I had talked to many times, and she calls me up to the Clear Blue and she goes, "Oh my God, I found him dead. I found him dead." I knew right away she was talking about her husband. He had a really bad heart. He had an enlarged heart. And she goes, he was slumped over the sink, and I found him dead. And I said to her, I said, well, I think this is who's talking to me. And I said, he says to make sure you do good in the world and give to the poor. And her mouth, I mean, I heard her gasp. And I go, why? I said, because he's politically active with the orange guy.
Yeah.
And she said, and he also said, especially to those that are not American, if you
Mm,
know what I mean.
yeah.
And so she just was like, and you know what else he said? He goes, well, I met Jesus and he reminded me who I really am.
Yeah.
And he also said he was brainwashed. And I am not kidding. This is not me. I'm not being political. I'm just repeating what
Right.
happened.
Right.
Okay. And what happened to this guy. Okay. So I just want to let you guys go. No. Okay. Um, you know, all I know, okay, this is my experience because I've talked to people as they are passing. I've talked to people within minutes of passing on the other side. I've talked to people before they've passed and
Wow.
they're stepping out of their bodies and I'm talking to them. And I do that quite a bit, especially for people who have Alzheimer's. They will be out of their body because it's just their shell. And they are, and I'm also in comas. So this is what I know to be true when they die. You've got your selection, you got your choices, okay? Or I guess circumstances, I guess I should say,
Yeah.
okay? You know, when you pass, you have a choice of, well, like I said, I kind of think it's just automatic, depending on how rough your death was. If you had a really, really rough death, you guys, what'll happen is they put you in a cocoon and it's like a deprivation chamber to get rid of the negative energy. Have you ever been in a deprivation chamber, Kent?
No, I'm scared of those things.
Oh, no, no, no,
I'm
no.
claustrophobic. Yeah.
Well, I am too. But you know what? I'm very claustrophobic, but this did not bother me.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh,
in
okay.
one, was only in there for 15 minutes. And if you guys don't know, it's almost like a cocoon, like a little pod or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Eee.
you're weightless. You're motionless. There's
Yep.
no sound. There's nothing. And they leave you in there for about 15 minutes. And it's so calming. Because you're getting no stimuli. You're getting nothing.
Yeah.
And it's just, well, they do that on the other side. I think that a lot of our inventions, a lot of our things that we've come up with, and as we grow as humans, is coming from our knowledge of what we remember from the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know that certain people I won't hear from for a long time. Now, it's interesting because some people though I will hear immediately. And I think these are the ones that they're very much in tune. They know they're dying.
Yep.
Okay. Now, for instance, I had a guy that I did not know well, and he knew everybody at this store that I read at. I used to read at stores all the time when I first started this. And I don't know why, but he came to me. And as he was dying, I knew he was dying. I didn't even know him, but he kept coming to me. I couldn't figure out what the connection was and why. And he would say to me, but I know you. And I'm like, okay. And as he was dying, he was coming to me. And as soon as he died and he took his last breath, he had crossed over peacefully and he was really talking to me then. And then I later found out that he owned a farm just down the road that would have been just down the road from me. And he was
Oh,
a farmer too. He had horses. So see the connection. And I
yes.
think that probably was it. And it was immediate though. Do you know what I'm saying? It was immediate. Because he knew he was going. It wasn't a horrible, painful death. But I believe that he had some type of cancer. And when he found out he had it, that he was gone within a couple months. So it wasn't long and drawn out. However, when my dad passed, had lung cancer. And it was long and drawn out. And when he passed, I was with him when he passed. And I still think he met my mother. I'm not sure who he met, but he had a big smile on his face. That was the last thing I saw. I remember he smiled and he goes, "Oh, okay," or something like that. He knew, he recognized who I was there. And but what was so funny is the day before I had a dream, and on the wall were pictures, moving pictures. They were like moving of my grandfather and my great grandfather. And because I knew my great grandfather, he lived to be like 99. So,
Wow.
and I knew that I kind of knew they were telling me that they were going to meet him and it was all okay. And anyway, I didn't see him for like 6 flipping weeks, you guys. Like I was like, why? Why haven't I? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And finally, one night I had a dream, and he was fly fishing. Now he liked to fish, but not fly fishing. But he was fly fishing, and he turned around. This guy in a hat. And he turns around. And he looks at me. He's about 30. You know, because that's what you do. You go back to when you're 30. You guys, I've told you that many times. You go back when you look good. Do you do it all the time? No. Some people. I want to say if you're a little vain, like if you you looked good at 30, you're going to go back to when you're 30, right? Anyway. But he looked like he was 30, and he gave me this funny, crazy look, like face. He made a face at me and smiled. And I knew right away. I'm like, oh my God, it's I finally heard from you. Well, I get a phone call about 7:00 in the morning. It was my oldest daughter. And she says, Mom, I think I had a dream. Somebody was fly fishing, and it sure looked like Grandpa, but I don't know what he looked like when he was 30. Because he looked really young. And
Wow.
So that was confirmation. They will do that to you to make sure that we've decooned ourselves. It was a very painful death for him. He could not breathe. I mean, he had lung cancer. So, good, Sue. Sue texted me this morning. She goes, I got an appointment. And I'm like, okay, it's all right. I'm okay with it. Anyway, so if you've got a very painful death, they will decocoon you. Also want to tell you that there's retribution to pay. I'm going to tell you, I used to not believe in this. Like everything's forgiven. No, you've got time to think about all the crap you've done to other people. And you have a lot of remorse. And now this is my perception on this. I used to think that, everybody plays a role because I've had a couple people in my life that are jerks, and they have told me from the other side that I'm supposed to be an ass because that was my role. And so I'm like, okay, because I mean, you wouldn't ever and they would tell me you would never learn anything if everybody was always nice to you. You're never going to learn anything if everything is roses, hearts and roses for your life, because you won't learn anything.
Yeah.
But then I've gotten a couple of people that have come through, and as I'm a medium. So, and if you guys, I do not differentiate my mediumship and my readings. My readings are my mediumship. I see some psychics that are like, well, it's going to be double for a mediumship. I don't do that. That's not what this is about. I talk to your family. That's where I get my information. So all I know is that there's been people that are asking for forgiveness from other people. It's happened to myself. It's happened to other people. And I think that forgiveness is a release of some of their time to think about some of the nasty stuff they've done.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to remember, when you cross, you are taken. I don't think it's a room. I think it's like almost like in your head, they show you every detail of your life. All the things you learned, all the things you didn't learn, the bad things, the things you've done that were not nice, the things that you were done that were nice. Good. All of that. Okay. And so I just know that you go through it, and it's almost like, from what I see, they show me, it's almost like you feel on the other side what those people felt.
Okay.
And when you did something nasty, you will feel. And I have more than once people come through. Will you forgive me? Because I think that they're not only is it helping release the person on the other side, but they understand that it's just a release of energy for the person that they did this to too. Okay. So and it's very interesting. And I know you get to do whatever you want on the other side. You get to do whatever you want. So if you, you get to look any way you want, by the way. I know you'll look like you're 30, but most people sometimes, I know I had one woman one time, I kept telling this lady, like, she's got this beautiful blonde hair and it's real long and wavy. And she could not figure out who this person was. And I'm giving names. Finally, she goes, well, that's my grandma's name. And she goes, oh my God, I got it. She always wanted blonde hair. And so, you get whatever you want. It's heaven, right? You also get to hang out with people. You get to hang out with your family members. And what I've seen for most people is that they hang out with like it'll be a woman, like a woman with her dad, or a woman with her mom, or you know what I mean? It's like that a lot. Sometimes it's your best friends too.
Yeah.
I've had that where they're like, oh my God, that was my grandma's best friend. They're together. It's like that. And they get to do what they want. Now, does everybody hang out together? No. Like some of it, I'm guessing my mom and dad are together. I honestly know my parents aren't. I think they've met their karma. No offense. I mean, I'm not upset about it, but I don't think that they are. And when they've come through for me through other friends of mine who are also mediums, they aren't together, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? But you get to do your okay. So imagine what heaven's like. It's your eternal hobby. So what's your hobby?
Oh, nice.
So you know how many people men I find that are working on cars.
Oh,
They're working on cars. They're messing with cars. They got their favorite car.
they're in their happy place.
Yep. Now, also, yeah, their happy place. Where's your happy place? I think I'd probably be working. I'll have a farm. I have a farm. I'll have a farm. Oh, I know it, with my horses and everything. I know that's what I'd be doing. But you know, as far as suicide, now I get this suicide stuff a lot. Now, here's a very interesting thing that I'm going to share with you when I do readings, because I see this over and over and over. When they commit suicide, and it's done out of mental illness.
Yeah.
There is no judgment. There is no judgment. Okay. They are just kind of escorted to the other side, you know, and they're usually happier, better, in a better mental state, blah, 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 because, it's heaven, they're in the presence of God. And the only time I've ever seen something, and this is a very interesting thing, that the more I read, the more I find, I got to start writing a book about all this, because some of these stories that I've got now, I keep acquiring stories, and I'm like, wow, they're embarrassed if they have done something that was preventable, like they were drug addicts and they died from an overdose. When they come to me, what they'll do is they'll stay to the distance. They don't want to talk to me. They're embarrassed. They're ashamed of themselves. Also, sometimes they're ashamed of how they treated people. And so I will be talking to other people, and they're like, well, I don't see do you see my son? And I'm like, no, I'm seeing your grandparents. And then I'll say, oh, hold on. I can see him in the distance. Now, I have a cousin that their family member, their husband committed suicide. It was out of vengeance. I don't think it was necessarily, there was a lot of, it could have been some mental illness, but it was, all I know is that he was he showed up. Okay. He showed up in a reading, and he wouldn't come near me because he didn't want to talk to me, because I knew him when he was alive, and he didn't want to talk. Finally, after a while, they sometimes will come up to me and they will talk to me. But if they've committed suicide, by the way, out of vengeance, and I've seen this happen, because as many readings as I've done, where I had one woman, she left her husband and he wanted to get even with her, so he hung himself and he killed himself. And that's vengeance. I'm going to tell you right now, they don't even have the pleasure of going back going to heaven. They go back into another lifetime.
So I've got a question for you.
Sure.
And, so why is it that we humans are so caught up on what happens after we die, rather than focusing on living a good life while we are here?
Because I think it's so unknown. Nobody really knows. It's such a mystery. And you know that we're drawn to mysteries, as intelligent humans, we always want to know, that's why, that's what I always say we always are problem solvers, and we can't solve this problem. Do you see what I'm saying?
True.
So think about this, guys, because I put a thought into this. You know how you get on Facebook or you get on your social media and you have 150 great comments. Oh, thank you. And you're like, oh, that's nice. Thank you. You get one bad one
Yeah.
and it ruins your day.
So
And why
true.
is that? Because why? I want to know why you're saying something bad and I want to solve it. We as humans want to solve our problems. We want to know what's coming. We want everything structured. We are all, you can say that we're
Yeah.
not, but human beings are creatures of habit. And we want to know, we want to, that's the great mystery of all of it. It's very, and think about it, anything in the world that's esoteric, we're very almost, we're afraid of it. We're afraid of it
Yeah.
because we don't know. We need to know.
So
Okay.
so as we do this, I've also heard, and I'm sure several of us have too, hey, when you die, you see a light, kind of a tunnel, and that might be the birthing canal. So you're saying you don't recycle, we're not recycling that quick, or?
You know what? You can. But I am
Mhm.
telling you right now because I think there's just this earth is in such a turmoil and in going
Yeah,
through so many changes. People are not reincarnating like they used to.
as
Like,
quickly.
but
Yeah,
like even 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, I would see people, I would hear people say, I'm coming back. I'm
yeah,
coming back as my granddaughter, letting you know. They're not doing that right now. I think
mm,
it's because you guys know what's going on, the
yeah.
shift that's going on.
So
And I
so
think,
Linda, yeah, Linda asks. She says, "How long are we in heaven before we're reborn?"
everybody's different. And you work on your next project. It's
Mm,
literally you get to work on them like a you get to plan everything. So it takes time. I know that there's this some type of hall. It's like a hall of
okay.
justice, a hall
Yeah.
of knowledge because I have see here's my stories again. I
Yeah.
got so many stories. I had this guy and I released him. I sent him to the other side. He was stuck. He was afraid to cross. And he came to me in a dream and thanked me. And he was standing on marble stairs. I think it's the Hall of Knowledge. They talk about it, and there were marble columns. So and he was telling me, thank you for releasing me. I'll be coming back eventually. And
Yeah.
I think everybody will. Now, the whole thing of coming back over and over is to get to be as godlike as possible so you don't have to come back. That's
Yeah.
what this is about. And people are like, well, what happens then? I'm pretty sure what the jury's out because you guys do so much of this. It's like you mold into the Godhead, like you become one. Like it's an energy
Yeah.
thing. It's an
That's
energy.
all. I understand. Yeah.
Okay, so that you guys
Uh,
understand that. All
yeah.
right.
Amber, I'm with you. Amber says I'm going to need a break after this lifetime.
And that's what's so bad is we plan it. That's why from what I
Yeah.
can see that they show you it like a movie. And they explain that the role you're playing now is just like a movie. So next, like this week, this lifetime, I'm the mother, but next time my daughter might be my mother. We all play different roles. And we have like maybe 2,500 or two up to 3,000 very almost like an intimate circle of soul family. And then our soul family connects to other soul families, blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
so all I know is that I know that if you miscarry, you terminate, or you have a stillborn, that energy stays there.
Yeah.
I see it
Um,
constantly.
and Faye, love Bewitched. Faye says, if they come back, then how do you connect with their old soul?
Okay.
Right. So in other words, um, your soulmate, quote unquote.
Yes, you are. You are.
Right.
Yeah. I keep telling people that I'm looking for my soulmate. I said, your mother's your soulmate. You have to understand that what you're talking about is more like a twin soul or a
Mhm.
twin
Twin
flame.
flame. Uh-huh.
That's I mean, the twin flames don't really exist that often. It's rare. But the twin souls do. I have one. I was sure it was a twin flame, but it's a twin soul. What happens is you spend so many lifetimes. You guys have chosen to spend lifetimes together so many times. Your imprint becomes like similar. You
Yeah.
feel the same about things. You think alike. You recognize each other. And it's just interesting to see what because like I said, I've talked to so many people and some of these are my deep friends. And I've got one friend that she's passed. I haven't seen her and she was a psychic and a medium also. And
Huh.
I don't understand. I think I might see her and she might be like she's 20, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
who it is because she's not really coming to me, but I know she passed. She had Alzheimer's. And so, you know, it's an interesting thing.
yeah,
Interesting
yeah.
thing, you know?
And Angela says, I think that the afterlife is so interesting. I remember seeing my dad in front of an quote unquote angel, and he was scared to cross. I had to reassure him that we were going to be okay.
Good, Angelus. That is what you do. If you do meet, you guys do know if you got ghosts in your house, right? It can be an entity that's been afraid to cross. They may have committed suicide. They may have done something terrible. They
Mm,
may, there's different reasons why sometimes they won't cross. And you have to assure them that it's okay. What I've always done is I say a little prayer to Michael and say, come get him. Please come get this part, come get this
yeah,
entity. And that usually works for me. That's how I got this other guy to cross that I met on the steps. I
yeah,
said prayer. I said, he's got to cross. He's scared. Please come get him.
yeah. Well,
So
that's
it's
when a couple of years ago when Uncle Pete passed,
yes.
we had in studio here in this building, there was a gentleman who hadn't crossed, and
Yes.
um, and
Yeah,
uh,
we
when
haven't
Pete
had any trouble since, have you?
nope, when Pete crossed, I think Pete said, "Hey, let's go."
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of wonder. I know that every once in a while Pete does come to me yet because I hear him. And you
yeah,
guys know that was my other producer. He died of COVID. Um, eh, it's interesting. Once you get there, once you get to the other side, and you'll be
yeah.
like, he knew. He goes, oh yeah, no, this was all planned. That was the first thing he told me to tell his wife. This was planned.
Huh,
And I was like, okay, because you remember your chart. Now, when you
sure.
guys come to this chart thing, you're planned it and your soul knows it all.
Hmm.
And you might not be consciously aware because there's been disconnect over the years because of all the garbage that you're filled with throughout your life. But it gets reconnected and you remember. And I know that they're okay, because this is what I see. I think the tunnel can be long or short,
Okay.
because I have seen where people like they look up and I see that there's this long tunnel, and then I see other people where it's like they pop and they're on the other side. I don't know if that makes sense. And I am going to tell you, whatever you believe in religion is who you're going to meet.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. There's more than one ways to God. Like I said, this one guy said he met Jesus because he was Christian.
sure.
I believe that the Buddhists meet Buddha, and I believe that the Muslims meet Muhammad. I just really do, because I think in the long run it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Okay, that's my view on religion.
yeah.
Okay,
Do pets come back too? Amber swears that our puppy who was born this year is our dog we had to put down a couple months before. He has markings on his back. My mom calls his angel wings.
I've had so. A couple of psychics have said they don't need to come back, and they don't, but I don't agree. I think they do. I think that they recycle as soulmates to us. Yes,
Yeah,
animals are soulmates. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Hey, Nisi, how are you? Glad to have you with us.
Yeah.
Tyler, Tyler says my daughter claims there's a man in our house and she sees him. It's scary.
How old is your daughter, Tyler?
That's
She
exactly
probably
what I
does.
thought.
Because you guys do know we can do all of this when we're little, because we're still
Yeah,
remembering from the other side. And until we're 7, and then see, there goes the disconnect. There goes
yeah.
the disconnect. If you can connect this to your soul at all times, what can't you accomplish? You can accomplish
She's
anything.
9. Yeah,
9, yeah, that's about right. I'm surprised she can still see, because a lot of people will be telling her at this age, well, you can't see that. That isn't possible.
and I would be like, have her talk to him, find out the guy's
You know
name.
what? Find out
Yeah.
try to see if he'll cross. Say a
Yeah.
prayer. This is me, because I've got entities in my house all the time because they come visit. I clear out. I light a candle. I say a prayer or a prayer to summon. I don't pray to angels. I summon them. I summon Michael to come and get
Hmm.
them. And
Hmm.
if they're still reluctant to go, that's what I do. You don't have to be a psychic and a medium. You don't have to be able to see them or anything
Hmm.
to be able to do that. So just to let you guys know, because you can do that. If that's when I tell people, when they've got an entity in their house, it's usually somebody that's just afraid to go. Now, sometimes it can be people it can be like an overlay of energy too. That's a whole nother
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
That's different. It's like another dimension. And sometimes
Hmm.
they're in houses, because I've had that happen. So, okay.
Hmm.
Um, with that said, I believe Steve, is it about time to take
Yeah,
questions?
we're close. I think that mystery that you talked about, the mystery, you hear people like, oh, they're at peace, and a lot of people who pass end up they smile
They do.
towards the end. If it's not a gruesome, right? If it's not
You
a
know,
very
I've got a
ugly
friend that
death.
she's becoming a death doula. And you guys know what that is, right?
A
That's
what?
a death doula.
No, I don't know
You've
that.
never heard of a death doula? You know what a doula is, right? That's a woman who helps bring babies in the world. Well, a
Yeah.
death doula is helping people leave.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
it's like, and it's gotten extremely popular. You can go get your certification in it. I've got a friend that's
Huh.
becoming a death doula. See, it does it as a psychic and a medium. It wouldn't bother me to be a death doula because I understand what's going on and I understand I will see him again. I
Yeah.
understand that it's far better on the other side than it is here.
Ah, right. Right.
This is full of negative energy. Trust me. So, okay.
Hey, Faye says, would you pull a card for me, please?
Oh, Faye. All right. Faye's got my number. She know. You
For
guys know I don't need cards.
the next 30 days, she
Yep, I'm
says.
a medium and I don't usually talk to family. But I want to say, Faye, now, did you get this before? A 30-day card? I feel like you need that card. That's a
That's what
30.
she says, the next 30 days.
Yep. Okay. Isn't that funny? That's what I got. Yes. Next, something. Okay. Something's going to happen for you. There is something significant in 30 days. I don't know why I got that. You figure that out. Something significant in 30 days.
Awesome. Terry T, good morning. Terry says, Miss Lana, do you see things going well for me on the 8th of October? It's close and I'm nervous.
I want to say it's so. Like there's good and there's bad that happen. I don't know what this is pertaining to. I'm just telling, that's what they're telling me. I feel like something is this a court case? Is something going to be pushed back again? Is there something that's going to happen from this date again later? Because it seems like that's what it is. There's something that's going to get pushed back or something, or you're going to have to do something again a little bit later date. But I don't think the outcome's bad, but it isn't quite what you want. I don't know. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, Terry. All right. I'm going to take some people off of TikTok.
Sure.
Hi, guys. Did your mom come back as a cat? I don't agree with that. I think that humans come back as humans, and I think that animals come back as animals.
Yep, I agree with that.
I know that some people like Buddhist religions, and I have a lot of Buddhist beliefs and a lot of Hindu beliefs too, that they reincarnate as animals, that type of thing. I just feel like they don't need to.
Right.
They don't need to. And I really truly think that animals are here for us to appreciate, to take care of, and to learn how to coexist.
There you
And
go.
I just think that the animals are a gift from God to us. That's
Unconditional love.
well, all animals, even wild animals, everything here for our benefit, for our appreciation, for our love, for our it's just that there's this thing called the Buddha. It's called the sin of the Buddha. And the sin of the Buddha is all about realizing that we love animals, we are in care of them, but we should never put an animal's life above a human. And that we should respect animals. It is our duty to take care of them, but never when there is a choice to be made should a animal be made before a human. That's called the sin of the Buddha.
Huh.
Just let you guys know. So now you learn something new.
There
All
you
right.
go. Teresa Campbell says, my sister Debbie stepped down as a flight attendant because of an illness. The company hasn't placed her and she's not getting paid. Will they place her soon?
I want to say it's not going to be for a while. I think it's going to be, I don't think it's a flight attendant. I think it's something else, Teresa. I think it's something else because it feels like there's paperwork involved. Like she'll be doing something in an office or something. And it won't be until around March of next year. It's going to be a while. Okay. All right. And I think they're going to find her a job is my point, but it's not going to be as an attendant, I don't think anymore. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Let me take a TikToker.
Sure.
Okay. Do was the orb I saw my son? You're seeing orbs too, because man, they're bad sometimes. You guys, if you're watching some of my videos, they're flying. I mean, they're just all over the place. And it's so funny is when I mention that I haven't seen them for a while, it's when they appear. But
Wow.
yes, I am sure that's probably your son. You guys don't realize they're around. And if you know, what's so funny is I watched, somebody sent me a video recently, I think, or was it on TikTok? There was an orb and it was so plain as day to this person. Like he was taping and I'm like, oh my God, you can't see that. And he's like, our minds are so powerful that we believe, if you believe that it doesn't exist, it doesn't. So no matter what I said, you can't see that. Everybody else could see it. When they were making comments, oh, look at, he couldn't see it. I don't see anything. I don't see it. I don't see anything round. I don't see. Always keep an open mind. Always keep an open mind, because you won't believe the things that you can see and do if you keep an open mind.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Brenda Wilson says, hi, will I get a sign soon of which direction I should take regarding where I should live? I so need clarity right now.
Do you live out on the East Coast, Brenda? Get back to me, because I think that's what you're supposed to do. Is that where you live now? It feels like North Carolina. God, that's gotten to be a hot spot. Hot,
yes.
South Carolina. And by the way, I predicted that storm that went through. Remember I said North Carolina, Virginia area?
Yeah.
I thought it would be a category 1. It wasn't, but it was not a real heavy storm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Diane says, what did my brother Brian pass from?
Oof. Something to do with his lungs. Did he have a blood clot in his lung? Something to do with breathing. Something to do with breathing. I don't understand completely, but I feel like he couldn't breathe.
Wow.
Okay, Diane. All right. Let me see. Let me take a TikTok. Do I have anybody? Sure. You guys can go ahead and ask. I don't have hardly anybody. You know, it's so funny is I've been trying to grow my Instagram. My Instagram is, I don't know, it's not growing like I want it to, because I've only had I had it sitting for like a year or two, but I just didn't. I'm targeting it now. So if you want to ask any questions, here, should swipe right. See, they don't want to swipe sometimes. Anyway, but I can see your questions. And so, yeah. But yeah. Anyway.
All right. Tracy 7 Trace, good morning, says, is my daughter Lauren still employed and have an income right now?
I want to say no. If she's working, it's not full time. Okay.
All right.
Just a thought. All right, Tracy.
Beautiful.
All right, let me take a couple questions. Okay, hold on. Should we invest in your business, in the business? Yeah, you got two. Because one's taken, if you start this one thing that you're investing in, it's going to take a jog and it's going to become a different type of business. Like it's going to change a little. You know, like I'm saying, like we started in construction and we ended up in siding. It's like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to like diverge a little bit. Okay. So, but go ahead. All right, go ahead.
All right. Angela says, I've been dreaming about an ex from high school. It's been 10 years since I last saw him, but his brother reached out months ago. He's married, so not sure why I'm dreaming about him.
There's could be past issues, but a lot of times he was a soulmate and there is unfinished business, or you've known him from another life and he might be thinking of you and wondering what's up with you also.
There you go.
What would have, could have been, whatever. And so you'll be picking up that energy.
Love it. Ishika, good morning, says, do you see me eventually getting admission to HEC Paris?
I think so. It's down the road though, but it's down the road quite a bit, Ishika. It's like, I want to say 2 years. Does that make sense? It's down the road a ways. Okay. I don't know if that's what you wanted to hear. Sorry, but it seems like there's something like that though, down the road. Okay. All right. Okay.
Hey, Sue, good morning, says husband has an in-person interview, which is his second one. What do you think?
Go in and dazzle him. He needs to go in and dazzle him. It could very much be something that works out for him. I don't sue. I know you well. I don't want to say, tell him do not blow this. I don't know why. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't go in there and just go in there and nail it. Tell him to
See,
nail it.
I'm
I
getting,
say it.
I'm getting, take a deep breath because there's something going on with traffic. So when you're saying that, it's saying
Oh,
take a deep breath and go in there positive. Yeah.
when they're positive.
Yeah.
I feel like he's his own worst enemy, and he kind of sometimes
Yeah.
accidentally sabotages himself. So I think that's why I'm saying that. Okay, so because I know her husband, so you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amber says, is my grandma upset with how my aunts have treated my mom since her passing? Well, my aunts get their karma for the horrible things they've said and done.
Yeah, she says to knock it off. Now, would have she had brown hair, and she sometimes would have put it back. It's either back or short. It's like, and it's a brown, it's a little lighter than mine. And I want to say, would she have worn an apron? Was she an more old fashioned? Because I feel like there's an apron. But she's shaking her finger. You know, you guys need to knock it off. I'm not there to do it. And I knew you guys were going to all pull this. This is what she says. When I passed, I warned you to get along. I knew you were all going to do this. And I am really not happy. She's shaking her finger like this. I think it's her. Tell me, Amber, if I'm not right on this.
Yep. Brenda says she lives in Colorado, not on the East Coast.
No, you're in Colorado. You're changing. You're going by water, Brenda. You're going somewhere else. You're going to water. That's why I said maybe East Coast, West Coast. There's water. Okay. Because I spend time out in Colorado and it's dry. People don't realize that Colorado is really dry. So yeah. Okay. All right.
Man, Tina says, got my LSAT score back. It's a 131.
What did you need? A 134, Tina? Remember I told you how close it was? It was going to be really close. I think, aren't you really close?
There you go.
Give me a call back because I'm pretty sure I told you that seems about right.
Yep. Hey, Lana, what should I do for a job this winter? Brittany Austin asks.
Hey, this takes time doing these. You're doing some type of office work. Or it's there isn't a lot of people. You just do your work and you go home. It's low stress. You might get a little bored with it on occasion, I think. But it's okay pay. It's not far from your work and it's easy. So whatever it is, Brittany, it's easy work. Okay.
Yeah. Ishika just responds says, yes, I want to apply for 2025. Oh my gosh.
Oh, see, okay. So I said 2 years, so I'm right. Yeah. Okay, that's right. That would be the perfect time to go. Yep.
Hey.
Yep. So I got it right.
Yeah. Linda says, well, this is odd. I started watching the program 5 minutes in. All of a sudden, there was a big circle on one edge of the screen, and then your program blipped and repeated itself. Very interesting. Must have been something you needed to hear.
I guess you're right, Linda. I guess so.
That's it. And Angela says, yeah, laugh out loud. I can see that. One of the dreams, he said, we can start over again.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
you can. And, you know, I just talked to somebody. They want a free reading from playing games with me, you guys. I'm telling you, you can next week. You're going to start winning my dream journal. I published a dream journal to help you analyze your dreams, and it works because I actually you're winning these as prizes. So I play on Tuesday nights at 3 o'clock at night. I know it's late, but I purposely do it so that my people out in California can see it. And we play Jeopardy. Like we had rocks and minerals, archangels, and then I threw something fun in there. Movies. I threw like lines from movies.
Oh, fun.
And then the first person to respond is the person winning the prizes. And so I make it real simple. I'm sure everybody on TikTok's going to copy me real soon.
That's awesome.
So,
sure. Yeah. Tina says she needed a 150 and got that
That's what
131.
I thought. Shoot, you got, isn't that almost that? So sorry, Tina. It's so close. You're so close.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Amber says her grandmother,
Yeah.
her grandmother did have short hair, and always said that she knew they'd act like
Yeah, I
this.
told you this is what she
Yeah.
said. I always knew they would be like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I am. Thank you for the confirmation, Amber. Okay.
Yeah. Tyler says, will my daughter ever open up to trying new food? She's stuck on 2 foods for years. I've tried everything.
You know what, Tyler? You said she's like 9. Just leave her alone, because I had a kid that ate nothing but hot dogs and mac and cheese and pancakes until she's about 15, and now she's 30, and she doesn't have any of those issues anymore. Sometimes I think it's like a texture in their mouth or something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a person on here that says they don't dream. How can I fix this? You are dreaming. You are dreaming. You're just not remembering them. That's what the dream journal's for. So if you go on Amazon to Lana's Enchanted Skye and you put it in, 2 of my published books, I have 4 published books, will pop up. And you can order this. I'm not trying to get rich. I try to keep it. It's $14.99, and that was. I'm not making a. Maybe I'm making $1. I don't even think. Anyway, because it's hardcover.
Yeah, you don't get rich.
Put it by. I'm telling you. 1, tell yourself to remember your dreams.
Yep.
Tell your soul to remember them. 2, sit this right next to there. Put a pen on top and start writing. And as soon as you wake up, because I've got stuff in here, I can't believe I dreamed it. I don't remember writing it. And so I got one, it was just so, and it was, there's some of these are just funky, and I'm reading them going, oh, wow. Like, and most of these, like, a lot of these are, and then, and in the corner of this, it'll have a wish, fear, visitation, trauma, which could be from the past life or this life. And then a precognition. It's telling you what's going to happen. So, and then you can analyze it and put your date down. See, so I did, and you can see how bad I wrote because it's in the middle of the night. All I know is that, and it analyzes you. What do you think this was about? Because you really do know. I've not found one person that they didn't kind of understand what their subconscious was telling them. So I just want you guys to be thinking about that. Okay.
Yep. Juan C says, I got my dream journal. It's fantastic. Last question here is, R. McAdams, will I get a promotion or should I look for a new job?
Look for a new job. You deserve better, with better pay too. I'm getting that. And then the person coming through has dark hair, dark and thick. I think he's older. Do you have anybody in your family with a little bit darker skin, a little bit darker hair? Because that person's coming through. Real thick, shiny, beautiful, nice looking hair. It's a man. And I think that dark eyes. Do you know who that is? I think it's like it feels like it's an uncle, or it's somebody above you. But they said to go get that new job. You deserve it.
Go get it.
Okay.
All right. Listen, that's going to wrap up this episode of Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves and what happens when we die. Come back next week. Go to Spotify, Apple Music, all those good things for any episodes that you might have missed. All of her episodes are out there. Jump on the treadmill and listen away.
And before I forget, the month of October, because Halloween, I have all kinds of sales. If you go on my website, I've got from anywhere from 15 to 50% off. I've got all kinds of stuff going on. So look at them. They won't sometimes say, hey, this is on sale, but you'll see the price is lower than it normally is. So I go ahead and check it out and book with me, because some of them, I think I'm only asking 15 minutes for $30. And so it's cheaper than actually asking me a question on coffee. So take a look. Okay.
That's right. For accurate predictions, go to Lana's website at Enchantedskye, skye.com. For fast and affordable answers, try coffee.com. You can trust Lana for reliable insights. For all of us here at 216 The Net, thank you for getting caught in the net. And until next week, remember to be good. More importantly, be good to one another.